Hello, hello! Pete's Packs here, and we're back with Throwback Thursday, episode number 46. This week, we have from the August 1999 Tokyo World Championships, Mark Lepine's Finalist deck. Now, funny enough, this was the only one I was able to get sealed, because the price of the 1999 World Championship decks are absolutely insane. Especially for something that's not tournament legal. Let's see, Mark Lepine, Finalist. Lepine's aggressive Sped Red deck applied pressure early with 11 fast creatures before shifting into land destruction mode. A late game Curse Scroll and Hammer of Begarden would finish off his mana crippled opponents. Very nice. This is the predecessor to the modern Ponza decks in a lot of ways. See, Mark Lepine, deck list, 4 Avalanche Riders from Urza's Legacy, 3 Fireslinger from Tempest, 4 Jackal Pup from Tempest, 4 Mog Fanatic from Tempest. Other 2 Arc Lightning from Urza's Saga, 4 Curse Scroll from Tempest, 3 Hammer of Begarden from Classic, aka 6th Edition, 4 Pillage from Classic, aka 6th Edition, 4 Shock from Stronghold, which I believe was the first printing of Shock, 4 Stone Rain from Classic, funny enough, also printed in Tempest, 2 Ancient Tomb from Tempest, 2 Gitu Encampment from Urza's Legacy, 16 Mountains from Classic, Tempest, and Urza's Saga, 4 Wasteland from Tempest, and then for the sideboard, we have 1 Arc Lightning from Urza's Saga, 1 Fireslinger from Tempest, 1 Flowstone Flood from Exodus, 2 Masticore from Urza's Destiny, still just an absolutely fantastic card in premodern, 4 Scald from Urza's Saga, 2 Shattering Pulse from Exodus, and 4 Thran Foundry from Urza's Destiny. So, just your classic aggro Ponza list. So let's see. Those are artist proof cards. Collect all 4 World Championship decks. Relive the excitement of the 1999 World Championships with these 4 commemorative decks. Kai Bude, World Champion. World Champion Kai Bude's red artifact deck employed more than 30 artifacts to generate huge amounts of mana. Big creatures like Masticore or Covetous Dragon became a threat to any opponent, and a well-timed Wildfire added the finishing touch. Mark Lepine, Finalist. So this deck, we'll be doing Kai Bude next week. Mark Lepine's aggressive Sped Red deck applied pressure early with 11 fast creatures before shifting into land destruction mode. A late game Curse Scroll and Hammer of Begarden would finish off his mana crippled opponents. Then last week we did Matt Linde's semi-finalist. Matt Linde's speedy mono green deck contained 26 low-cost creatures. Supplementing this nasty creature assault were 4 Rankers and 4 Giant Growths. If his opponents weren't smothered by turn 5, Linde's Cursed Scrolls would pick up the game, or pick up the slack. And then Jakob Slemmer, quarterfinalists. Slemmer's mono black deck controlled the board with Cursed Scroll, Powder Keg, and Phyrexian Plague Lord. His black control creation also pounded his opponents early with discard effects found in Ravenous Rats, Duress, and Stupor. Very nice. So now you know what the metagame was like for this year. Let's start off with our sideboard. So Thran Foundry from Urza's Legacy. No, Urza's Destiny. I always mix those two up. Art by John Zalesnik. 1 mana artifact. 1 tap, remove Thran Foundry from the game. Target player shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. This is really good for crippling graveyard strategies of your opponent, or cycling back your own resources in the mid to late game to refuel. And we have 4 copies of Thran Foundry. Next up, Shattering Pulse from Exodus. Art by Donato Giancola. 1 in a red instant, buyback for 3. So if you pay the buyback cost, it goes back into your hand instead of your graveyard. Destroy target artifact. For a while, this actually saw quite a bit of Pauper play, and this saw a fair bit of Legacy and Vintage play for quite a while, but that was 20-ish years ago at this point. So, we have 2 copies of Shattering Pulse. Next up, we have Scald. Great card for fighting off the mono blue decks. This is from Urza's Saga. Art by Adam Rex. 1 in a red enchantment whenever a player... Sorry about that. The arm on my phone is... Stop. Let's see. Whenever a player taps an island for mana, Scald deals 1 damage to that player. Just a good way of shutting down opposing blue mages. So we have 4 copies of Scald. Occasionally sees play in premodern. So next up we have Masticore, another premodern all-star. And standard all-star at this time from Urza's Destiny, art by Paolo Parente. 4 mana 4/4 artifact creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may choose and discard a card from your hand. If you don't, sacrifice Masticore. And then 2, it deals 1 damage to target creature, and then it regenerates for 2. And we have 2 copies. Next up we have Flowstone Flood. This was a repeatable source of land destruction. That was pretty good for the mid-game. But it is from Exodus, art by Paolo Parente as well. 3 in a red, sorcery, buyback, pay 3 life, and discard a card at random. And then it's just destroy target land. So, nice thing about this, if this is the only card... I believe the way the rules were set up at the time, if you didn't have any cards in hand, it was just 3 life. So, neat little thing. I think you actually have to be able to discard a card now, but I don't recall. I'd have to check the rulings for it. Next up we have Fireslinger from Tempest. Art by Jeff Wrights. 1 in a red for a 1/1 wizard. Tap to deal 1 damage to target creature or player and 1 damage to you. We have 1 copy in the sideboard. Next up, Arc Lightning, also from Urza Saga, art by Andrew Goldhawk. 2 in a red, sorcery. It deals 3 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. Given how many X1s were in the meta at this time, this was a pretty good way to sweep out 3 creatures pretty quickly. Mark Lapine, Finalist. Though only 17 years old, New Hampshire native Mark Lapine is a Pro Tour veteran. He had been with the Pro Tour since Atlanta in 1996 and has made the top 8 3 times. Mains 97, Rome 98, and Worlds 99. Lapine played an aggressive red deck called Sped Red, with his deck, he applied pressure early with 11 fast creatures. Then he'd shift into land destruction mode with Wasteland, Stone Rain, Pillage, and Avalanche Riders. For the late game, Lapine used Cursed Scroll and Hammer of Bogarden to finish his mana-crippled opponent. Alright, now we're to the main deck. We have Legacy All-Star and Vintage All-Star Wasteland. This is the Tempest printing, art by Una Fricker. Taps for a colorless mana, and you can tap and sacrifice it to destroy target non-basic land. Just an absolute classic in every format that it is legal, and a staple in those formats as well. Also big in pre-modern. We have 4 copies of Wasteland. Next up we have our mountains. This is Urza Saga, art by John Avon. We have 16 mountains in total. I think they probably did... I thought they were going to do a 4/4 split, but looks like they have 5 with the John Avon Mountain. This is the Tempest printing, art by Mark Poole. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Next we have one of my favorite mountains of all time. The 6th edition printing by John Avon. This was originally printed in Mirage. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6 of those. Okay. Huh. Oh yeah, it does say it's just 3 sets. That's fine. Next up, we have Get to Encampment from Urza's Legacy. Art by Hazeltine. It comes into play taps for a red, and then for 1 and a red, it becomes a 2/1 red creature with first strike until end of turn. It still counts as a land. I believe the eroded version actually becomes a soldier. I'm not entirely sure. And we have 2 copies of Get to Encampment. Next up, we have a card that people think was originally rare. This was originally an uncommon, which is why it's not on the list. That's Ancient Tomb from Tempest, art by Colin McNeil. Let's see. Tap to add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. It deals 2 damage to you. Just the classic soul land. We have 2 copies. Next up, we have Stone Rain. This is the 6th edition printing, art by John Matson. 2 and a red, sorcery, destroy target land. Just clean, classic card. We have 4 copies of Stone Rain. Next up, we have Shock, and this is the original Tempest print, or not Tempest, Stronghold printing, with art by Randy Gallegos. For a red, it's an instant. It deals 2 damage to target creature or player. We have 4 copies of Shock. Next up, Pillage with that beautiful Richard Kane Ferguson art. This is the 6th edition printing. So 1 red, sorcery, destroy target artifact or land, and can't be regenerated. So this was, of course, good for land destruction, but it had the multi-functional use of hitting Grim Monoliths at the time and opposing Masticores. The can't be regenerated part was actually very critical during this time for being able to kill Masticore, since it is able to regenerate. And we have 4 copies of Pillage. Next up, we have Hammer of Bogarden. This is the 6th edition printing, which also has the original art by Ron Spencer. 1 red, sorcery. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player. And then for 2 red, you can return it to your hand, but only during your upkeep and only if Hammer of Bogarden is in your graveyard. I know that seems a little silly to have to specify that, but it mattered. We have 1, 2, 3 copies of Hammer of Bogarden. Next up, we have Meta All-Star for 98 and 99. I think it was also in for 2000 as well. Curse Scroll. This is the Tempest printing, which is the only printing. Art by D. Alexander Gregory. 1 mana artifact. 3 tap, name a card. Target opponent chooses a card at random from your hand. If he or she chooses the named card, Curse Scroll deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Very nice. And just a good way of closing out games. We have 4 copies of Curse Scroll. Next up, we have Arc Lightning yet again. This is the Urza Saga printing, art by Andrew Goldhawk. 2 and a red, sorcery, deals 3 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players. What's funny is, at the time, there were some interesting rulings for this card, and other cards that were worded similarly to it. They actually had to tell people explicitly, no, you can't target more than 3 targets. We have 1, 2 copies. Next up, Mog Fanatic. This is the Tempest printing, art by Brahm. This card is far less good with damage on the stack gone. There was also a period of time during this before... No, I think 6th edition came out just before Tempest. Trying to remember. There was a weird time with activated abilities like this where you could activate it multiple times before having to pay the cost. But also, damage on the stack was far better with this because you could kill an X2 with Mog Fanatic. Or you could kill an X1 and ping your opponent for 1. That is no longer the case. But for a red, it's a 1/1 goblin. You can sacrifice it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. And it has some hilarious flavor text of, I got it, ah! We have 4 copies of Mog Fanatic. Next up, Jackal Pup. The Tempest printing, art by Susan Van Camp. For a red, it's 2/1 Hound. I believe it's a dog now. For each 1 damage dealt to Jackal Pup, it deals 1 damage to you. We have 1, to 4 copies. Next up, Fireslinger yet again. Tempest printing, 1 in a red, or art by Jeff Reitz, or Wrights. 1 in a red for a 1/1 wizard. Tap, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and 1 damage to you. We have 3 copies of Fireslinger. Then last but not least, one of my favorite cards of all time, because I am in fact a degenerate. We have Avalanche Riders. This is from Urza's Legacy, art by Edward P. Beard Jr. 3 in a red for a 2/2 summon nomads. I believe it's now a human nomad warrior, something like that, with Echo, so you have to repay for it during your next turn, or during your next upkeep. Otherwise, you have to sacrifice it. But it has haste. This printing says unaffected by summoning sickness. And when it comes into play, destroy target land. So it's like a Stone Rain and a Shock bolted together that you can pay for twice to have a 2/2. Well, we have 4 copies of Avalanche Riders. Very nice. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this adventure with Mark Lapine's Sped Red, the finalist deck from the August 1999 Tokyo World Championships. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff for the algorithm. It really helps us out, and I really appreciate it. And until next time, stay awesome. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.